Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here, and welcome to another video. And in today's video, of course, we're going to make some bold predictions for the up and coming SummerSlam, which, by the way, on time of recording this video, is just over a week away. Where's the time gone? Where's the year gone? And this is surely going to shape up to be one hell of a banger of an event. There's going to be shocks. There's going to be surprises. There's going to be returns. We're going to cover it all. And we're going to start off, of course, with the confirmed matches. Now, there are other matches I'm sure that will be confirmed. We'll touch on those at the end of the video. And also at the end of the video, we'll talk about, speculate about potential returns that we might see. Man, this event is going to be good. Now, we've got to kick things off with what is going to be the main event. Let's face it, the tribal combat match between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal title. Man, that's a mouthful. Now, I would pop so hard, I would literally mark out if Jey Uso dethroned Roman Reigns. I just don't think it's going to happen. This is not going to be where Roman Reigns' reign ends. At least I don't think so. Now, there's going to be some form of shenanigans going down. You know this is a bloodline storyline, right? Now, yes, on paper, it should be a fair, clean as you like, clean as a whistle, one-on-one match between Jey and Roman only. But do you really think that Solo's not going to get involved? Do you really think that Paul Heyman's not going to try and get involved in some capacity? It's going to be shenanigans. And also as well, do you think it's all too convenient that Jimmy Uso is kind of on the shelf at the moment, kind of forgotten about, and he might miraculously appear in time for SummerSlam to either help or potentially hinder Jey? Now, I know it sounds like madness. It's been my prediction in videos past. I think it's going to be a swerve we don't see coming. I actually think Jimmy is going to cost Jey. Now, whether that's intentional or not intentional, I think it's going to cost him his biggest moment, his biggest chance. He's fought Roman before, of course, Jey, and lost twice. But could it be a third time? Maybe Jimmy's jealous of the fact that Jey's got this opportunity. But whatever goes down, you can pretty much guarantee there's going to be one man victorious at the end. And that is the tribal chief in Roman Reigns, going with Roman to retain. Next up, we got match number 2. This is in no particular order, by the way, but the Women's WWE Championship match. Of course, Asuka, the champion, defended against Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair in a triple threat match. And I actually think this one's going to be pretty predictable. I think Asuka is going to retain. I think Asuka should retain. I don't want to see another Bianca Belair title reign. Not just yet. I always feel that Bianca's better as a chaser. And say what you like about Charlotte Flair. Obviously, she's fantastic. She's brilliant. She's going to break records galore. She's already broken records along the line. But I don't want to see another reign from Charlotte Flair. I just don't think it's the right time. I think it would be met with boos. If Charlotte or Bianca were to win, maybe not so much Bianca, but we cannot forget, of course, Io Sky lurking in the background with, of course, the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. She can use it anytime, any place, and she could use it in this match. Now, if the Money in the Bank is used, Io Sky will more than likely win, cash in, become victorious. But I have a feeling she's not going to get that opportunity. Something's going to prevent her from doing that. And we're going to get Asuka in a clean win. She'll probably pin Bianca, more than likely. I don't see her pinning Charlotte, but imagine if she did pin Charlotte. I kind of like that because Charlotte ended her historic unbeaten streak, didn't she, at WrestleMania, what was it, 34? So a little bit of revenge maybe there. Next up, we move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth freaking Rollins, the current champion, and of course Finn Balor. And this is where I think we're going to see a major upset. I feel like WWE are going to go all in on Finn Balor in the Judgment Day, and Finn Balor is going to beat Seth Rollins via help from the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day are ridiculously popular. Obviously, we love to boo them, right? And WWE are going to want to capitalize. Go all in. Now, of course, Damian Priest is lurking in the background with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't feel that time would be right now to use that cash-in opportunity, save it down the line, tease the friction between a new champion in Finn Balor, and then you've got Damian sort of in the background teasing the fact anytime, any place he could cash in where Finn is going to want to swerve him in the other title direction, in Roman's sort of side of things, which we know is never going to happen. I feel like it's the right time and place to do it. Finn Balor has been losing a lot on PLEs. He's been giving a lot back. So why not? And it does protect Seth Rollins, because if he's getting shafted by the Judgment Day and he loses dirtily, I suppose you could say, if that's even a word, then it doesn't harm Seth Rollins. You sympathise with the Seth Rollins character. And then if you wanted to tease this rivalry out even further, you could, but with Seth as the chaser. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. If Seth Rollins loses, there's a certain someone that could potentially be returning at SummerSlam, a certain rivalry that could be sparked. We'll cover that at the back end of the video. But I'm going with a Finn Balor victory, shockingly. Next up, we've got what is going to be, just quite simply, a 5-star match. A match that I never thought in a million years I'd be looking forward to, but I can't wait for, in Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Now, in terms of the victor, I think it's pretty safe to say that Logan Paul is going to probably win, but that's not going to be the talking point. It's going to be the spots during the match, these open mouth moments that we're going to talk about for the next couple of decades. There's going to be some high-end moments. Whatever moments they will be, we'll have to wait and see. But super looking forward to this match. Don't really think it really matters who wins, to be honest with you. But I've got a pick. I'm going with Logan Paul. Moving on to Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, versus the American Nightmare in Cody Rhodes. I'm sure there'll be more stipulations added to this rubber match. We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of victor, surely Cody Rhodes is going to get the W here to end the rivalry between the two of them, and it just makes sense. But I feel like there's going to be a certain superstar that is potentially going to return and set up a future rivalry. I think you know who that is. We'll cover it the back end of this video. Next up, we got an absolute banger of a match between Gunther and Drew McIntyre. Now, you probably feel that Drew McIntyre, a superstar of the caliber of Drew McIntyre, stands a serious chance in dethroning Gunther. He's had this IC title for yonks. It feels like years. It hasn't been years. But of course, WWE are going to want Gunther to surpass the Honky Tonk Man's IC title record. In order to do so, he needs to get through SummerSlam. He needs to get past Drew McIntyre. And I think this is where Gunther's reign continues. I think he's going to remain IC title champion, because people feel that Drew McIntyre is going to win. I think it's going to go the opposite direction. I actually think they're going to keep booking Gunther strong. I don't think he's going to drop that title until the end of next year. Past what? Early November? I think it's that time. He's got to wait until he surpasses the Honky Tonk Man's record, and then maybe Drew can take it off him at a later date. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm going with Gunther. So there's all the confirmed matches. We're going to move on to a couple that I think that will be added. We'll just dice through those quickly. Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. This is kind of unofficially being confirmed, really. I mean, Ronda's pretty much said, we'll see you at the Ford Field Centre. So read between the lines there. We're likely going to get Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. And to be honest with you, that match is probably just going to be brutal, kept quite short. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's just ended in a DQ or something. If there were to be a victor, I think I'd probably go for Shayna Baszler. I know they've been working this match a lot in dark matches, matches away from main roster television. But maybe they're kind of testing the crowd a little bit, because Shayna is getting massive over pops out of the two of them, which you kind of expect. So that kind of classes Shayna as the face and Ronda as the heel. Take what you like from that. Now, moving on to a potential confirmed match that I think will take place. I think it's pretty safe to say that's the case after Liv, of course, getting written off WWE television via the Rhea Ripley attack, which, by the way, was absolutely savage. Of course, Raquel versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. Now, in terms of the victor, I'm pretty confident in saying it will be Rhea Ripley if this match gets confirmed. But I think it will just be a teaser for a more vicious, more dominant, potentially heel version of Raquel down the line. And you can build that version of Raquel up at the back end of SummerSlam all the way up until WrestleMania. And maybe those two can have a rematch where roles are reversed, where Raquel gets the victory. That would be my personal booking scenario. Raquel, if you ever watched her in NXT, in that version of Raquel within NXT, it's a very different Raquel to what we've seen since her debut on the main event roster up until now. So I'm just praying for that version of Raquel, and we see that later down the line. But for now, there's no way Rhea Ripley is going to drop the belt, especially as being part of the Judgment Day and how massively over they are at the moment. I just can't see it. So I'm going with Rhea Ripley if this match takes place. And talking about matches if they take place, we got to talk about, of course, the United States Championship. Now, I do hope this gets defended on the show. I really do. Of course, we've got this United States Invitational match, finals match between Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio. It's going to take place on SmackDown, and the victor will take on Austin Theory. Now, I think it'll be Santos Escobar. It doesn't really make sense for Rey at this point in his career not to put over the younger talent, or not so young really, because Santos Escobar is like 39, so he's not exactly a whippersnapper. And then he has a matchup against Austin Theory, which I actually think he'll lose. And I'd like to see a more vicious version of Santos Escobar. I'd even like to see a feud between Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio, with Escobar as the heel. But again, that's just on my wish list. I think they're going to keep the title on Austin Theory. Of course, we can't rule out LA Knight. What are WWE doing with LA Knight? I feel like we need a whole separate video on that entirely. Maybe they worm him into the United States title scene in time for SummerSlam somehow, some way. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Of course, another obvious match that's likely to get included is Trish versus Becky, where it's highly likely we'll see a returning Lita come to Becky's aid, get a revenge for Trish attacking Lita, of course, having her on the sidelines, and then Becky gets the victory. Now, this ends us on return possibilities. Now, I've covered this in separate videos. Now, I'm going to briefly sort of skip by the obvious ones. We could see Big E. We could see Randy Orton. We could see The Undertaker. We could see John Cena. We could see The Rock. But one person who's red hot on the radar of returns potentially at SummerSlam is Bray Wyatt. Now, obviously, I'm being slightly biased here. I'm a massive Bray Wyatt fan, and I'd love to see him at SummerSlam, like many of you Fireflies would also like to see too. But insert Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar match and Bray Wyatt at the end of that match, or even the Seth Rollins Finn Balor match. Of course, there's that dream case scenario amongst fans of Bray Wyatt returning to get his revenge on Roman Reigns for SummerSlam 2020, and of course Payback 2020, when he lost his Universal title and the Roman Reigns reign began. Yes, that would be great. That would be fantastic. I would pop. And WWE, please, at some point, make it happen. I just don't feel now is the right time. I think there's going to be other storylines. Creatively, they can explore so much with Cody Rhodes in a feud there. And also, they can revisit the Seth Rollins Bray Wyatt feud and get it right, because we can't forget about that Hell in a Cell 2019 match. We don't want that rivalry to be remembered for the wrong reasons, really. Seth Rollins is literally at the top of his game at the moment, and Bray can get it right in a feud between the two of them. But if I'd have to pick, it'd be Bray Wyatt coming back and then immediately starting a rivalry with Cody Rhodes. They can throw back all the way to the NXT days, where of course Cody Rhodes was Bray Wyatt's, or Husky Harris, should I say at the time's, trainer, and you can explore all sorts of really cool dynamics within the Firefly Funhouse as well. Think of the fun that they could have with the Stardust of the past gimmick as well, linked in with Cody Rhodes. Of course, the family history with the Rhodes and Rotunda family as well. It would be epic. What do you think? Get down in the comments section, share your thoughts and opinions, and as always, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you in the next one.